Najmeen Taylor, and this is my B story. I first got my relationship with God when I was a freshman in high school, and I was curious in figuring out what exactly it is that He wanted me to do with my life, and because I didn't want to do things on my own and on my own accord, I wanted Him to be the one that guided me. So I prayed, and He gave me a vision for 3 nights of a youth empowerment organization. And I was just kind of confused in how He would give this to me and, put this opportunity in me to pour into others, youth to be exact, when I had all these problems within myself. I struggled with low self-esteem, and I struggled with the lack of communication I had. And I'm like, God, how are you going to have me leading youth when I can't even speak myself? And all of that stemmed from not being able to have a voice for myself because I was shut down. I was told to stop talking because I talked too much, or to shut up. And at that time, or even now, people don't realize the power of their words, and it really did affect me in how I communicated with others. And in reality, I didn't communicate with them. I shut down. I internalized everything because I felt that nobody would want to hear me anyway. So it was actually 2010 when I wrote my first poem. And after writing that poem, Beauty Scene, I realized that I had a voice. I had power within that voice. I had a message, and people actually listened to me. So after he told us that $10,000 is the grand total, he then laid it on us that $500 was the deposit. And I was like, okay. And he said we needed that by March 15th. But the sooner you turn that $500 in, you're basically saving your place in this trip. And I'm like, God, I'm sitting in my seat like, man, I want to go, but I don't have any of that money. But I'm trusting you still. I'm still going to believe in you. You've been so good to me thus far, especially when it came to finances, so I'm not worrying about it. So I went to work that night, super pumped. And I was talking to, there was a customer, and I was talking to him and his wife, and I ended up telling them about, the opportunity I have to go to Asia. And they were so excited, so encouraged by my story. I ended up coming back to them when they got done eating, and they gave me their check. And it was actually $100 in there. And he said, I'm investing in your trip, so you go. And he said, this is your tip on top of it, but take this $100 and invest it in your trip. And I cried, I was blown away, I was excited. I was so humbled at how fast God worked. So the next day, I worked again, and I made another $100. I was like, oh my gosh, I have $200 now. This is now Tuesday. Monday, I was told about the opportunity. This is Tuesday. Now Wednesday, I came home from work, and it was during the day still, and I checked the mail, and I received a random $320 check. Blown away by that. I was like, I have $500 and it's only been 3 days. So the next day, I got on the phone, called Brian. I was like, I am super excited right now. I've never been this pumped up before about my future, about my vision. And I said, all I can hear in my head was you saying, live on purpose. My favorite quote that I absolutely live by is by Gandhi. And he said, be the change that you want to see in the world. I did a little remix to it because I wanted to really personalize it. And I say, be the change that you want to see, so that when others see you, they'll be the change that they want to be.
Growing up in a small town and now living in a big city like Dallas, where there's so many opportunities, I know the impact of exposure. So imagine a little girl going and touring 8 countries in Asia, the impact that will have on her life. Too many times we focus on everything negative that this generation does. And too many times we don't stand up behind them and support them when they try to do something positive. But right now you have an opportunity to change that. You have an opportunity to not only advance our mission, but to help Najmeen's dreams come true and to impact the lives of everyone she'll ever touch. So I ask you right now to stand up and show your support. Thank you so much.